Call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to review and approve the minutes of the March 12th. meeting.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Is everybody? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the sketch plan review of the proposed subdivision by T.R. Film Modeling. Boyd Associates is going to give us a presentation.
Does everybody have a copy of it? I brought some of the items I said.
Oh, yeah, we don't have that.
I think I'm good.
You don't want it? They may want it.
Actually, I'll take a quick look. Came in pretty bad. Thank you.
Okay, ready? All right, this is a big 3-lot subdivision. So part of this parcel will go to an abutter, David Cole. It's in the process of being completed. When we get ready to go to preliminary submission, then we should have a book and page. And then we propose 2 4-acre lots in the front, and then the rest is remaining lot 3.
Straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward. We got the soils done. That's on this updated plan. They all passed. There's no issues with the soils. At some point, they're gonna get the road opening permits from the DOT. Yep. I want to make sure the concept passed before we get to the road opening permits. I think that's the last piece we need to do.
So on what? Go ahead.
You're
Sorry.
dealing with Dixfield over there, getting road permit.
What's that?
You're dealing with DOT in Dixfield?
Yeah, I think it's that group out of Wilton. Yeah.
It's well,
They moved into Wilton.
Yeah, I don't know, like zone 3 or what.
okay.
So in one of the drawings, I saw looked like a road that went through at one point in time. I can't find it now, but. Is there any other access to this out here? Up here in this road?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I know there's a logging road that goes out. That was the general line.
And is there access to this lawn out here from this side?
Don't know that.
Okay. We're just not gonna lock this guy, right? That you know of.
I don't believe so. Yeah.
Did you have a preference for the contour intervals?
Those are 2-footers. Park chairs.
Are they decent sized lots? All sandy soils, so. it's-
Yeah, they pass with, yeah. they do.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, there's no significant wildlife habitat there. It's part of that registered aquifer. You can imagine going through the roads would be like.
Excuse me, you speak up just a little, because we're behind you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's on an aquifer. I don't think 3 wells is gonna encumber the aquifer that's there. It's a registered aquifer from the river all the way down to almost water. I think I sent Matt the aquifer, the town aquifer plans and it's right.
Do you have any covenants that you intend to place on them?
I gotta Scott that, he hasn't got that far yet, that will come in the preliminary. I don't believe there will be many restrictions.
I just didn't know about
Yeah.
further subdivision or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll address that, yeah, in the next little, sure.
So we need a motion to. See if it meets the definition of a subdivision, is that right?
Yes, and then authorize them to proceed with preliminary plan. Okay.
Do I have a motion to,
So,
and second,
Also,
all those in favor? Is everyone? Okay, and we need a motion to move forward, to the preliminary plan review.
That's what that was.
That was that, so that's all.
We need to set contours.
And contour intervals. Motion to set contour intervals to 24 inches.
Yeah, 2 voters, done.
yeah,
Second.
But-
All those in favor? Everyone?
If we want to step a little bit out of order and talk about your next meeting date,
Sure.
that will be the next time that these folks will have the opportunity to present if you're ready.
Yeah.
You believe you'd be ready in 3 weeks?
Yep. Minus, I don't know how fast the DOT can get me road entrance permits, but we'll get them before the final. Right? If I don't need those for preliminary, we could probably. It's almost a preliminary right now.
Yeah. Do you have any public comments?
I just wanted to ask, it's the property. Well, you know,
where they cut the wood.
okay, I just wanted to make sure because the
Right.
letter said it abuts our property. and
It does,
I'm
because
thinking
it's-
this does not abut my
Well, it
property
does, it's across the.
Across the road.
across the
It's
road,
still-
but I was seeing that,
Right,
not, you know, so I was a little confused by that, so I thought it.
right. You didn't send Jim,
No, you sent me. Figure out what's going on here.
ask some questions.
Okay,
Next meeting.
so the next meeting, we'll schedule for August 6th,
Your regular meeting date is August the 13th,
right?
but we'd like to move it up a week to August 6th.
the first
I
one,
It's the first Thursday meeting. Or have any objection to that? Keep folks moving.
Everybody okay with that?
August 6th, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
All right, that's great. So I'll get the submittal packages together and we'll get them issued hard copy and all that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, on the next item, discussion act on the site plan review adaptation, version of existing barns, providing the lawn cultivation facility. For sale only at 482 Waterville Road.
In your packet, you received a copy of the application. What you have also on the table today, is a very draft, findings of fact and notice of decision, as well as an email from the fire chief, which is a component of the application that is pending, upon application. Code enforcement officer certified that the application has been complete. All the butters have been notified, by certified mail. Return receipt, thus the applicant is present, and I'm not sure if you'd like the applicant to provide an overview, or the board wants to jump into questions.
How do we feel about that? Would you like an overview?
Sure.
No? Maybe?
Yeah, I would,
Sure.
Yeah.
So if this is a, I'll say a simple conversion, you are at 482 Waterville Road, which exists now as a former chicken barn, storage facility now. It presently has 3 levels, the facility. The applicant is proposing to use 2 levels, and convert the space to medical marijuana cultivation, wholesale only. So there would not be any commercial activity aside from the wholesale, of the product, at the location. There's an existing residence there, and that residence would be used to primarily house, workforce for the property. I believe it proposes up to 8 individual caregiver spaces. And that's what it entails. There's an application pending before DOT, that's another one because of the change of use. We don't expect that traffic will have an impact. One way or another, it should remain almost residential. But they come to you today because of the size of the conversion and the fact that it's going from a storage facility and a fundamental change into medical cannabis. And so that's really it. It's the house is not gonna change, it's the use of the storage barn facility. And I don't know if you folks have anything to add or if that summarizes.
Technically, whatever the fire chief wanted is all to like the lockball and the section based all whatever you kind to 5 feet of view. Okay, bye.
So that's an overview. We did notify the abutters, which is largely the same abutters as the subdivision. And so we'll open up for public comment tonight. And what you end up doing is you have to go down through your findings of facts sheet, which is contained in the review criteria, section 10 of the site plan review ordinance. And it needs to meet all those qualifications or not be relevant. So I drafted that out to make it easy for you folks to go through as you want to ask questions. You don't need to make a decision on the entirety of the application if you want to go line by line, if you want to ask for more information, if you want to set restrictions on things, conditions of approval. The applicant's agent just stated that they were going to accept the fire chief's request. So those, that would be something in the board was wanting to see that included. We would add that in as conditions of the application of the approval. But pretty much the goal of the application review is to consider your perspective relative to site plan review ordinance, hear public feedback, get answers to your questions and concerns and public's questions and concerns from the applicant. If we need follow-up, we can get follow-up, and then make your way through the findings of facts, and make the appropriate findings. You gotta pass all of them or find them to be not relevant, or the application will be denied.
I would propose that we go line by line.
I agree.
I'm actually making a motion, line by line. I have.
I think, yeah, I think we can. So we'll start with number 1. Well, I guess Richard's just described this about the location.
We're gonna skip the findings of fact. I believe that's pretty standard in the
Okay.
application and some areas of the applications. The one thing in the findings of fact would be number 7, and that would be comment from the public and incorporating that into the document.
Okay.
As far as the review, that would be under the conclusion section of top of page 2.
Okay.
So conclusion section 1, the application is complete, escrow fees have been paid. That'll be the first item that you can say. For the record, I would ask that we have a motion, a second, and discussion on each item, so that that's reported as you do that. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, the application is completed and escrow fees have been paid. Planning board finds this application to be in compliance. Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Number 2, the proposal conforms to all the applicable provisions of this ordinance. The code enforcement officer finds the application to be in compliance. Motion,
So move. Second it.
all those, discussion, any discussion? All those in favor? The proposed activity will not cause unreasonable soil erosion or a reduction in the land's capacity to hold water so that an unsound or unhealthy condition results as per the EP's erosion and sediment control manual in force at the time of the permit's approval. The planning board finds the application to be in compliance.
Um,
What?
I may be jumping the gun. Is that on town water and town sewer?
It is not.
No.
The applicant states that there's an existing subsurface system out there and there are two wells. That will supply the property, and that will be mentioned further down.
And if we have questions about water supply, because we live very, very close and our well is very close, does that come later?
I would slide your hand up when you hear anything that she's talking about, as far as right now, we're talking about. DEP's erosion and sediment control. There's no new construction, there's no X. So when you find anything that you wanna just,
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, do I have a motion?
so,
All those in favor? Okay, number 4, the proposed activity will not have an adverse impact on wetlands.
pretty evident is far enough away. So,
Proposed right section.
the only question, okay, the only concern and question I have right here is, over on Exhibit L, the hazardous material, the actual fertilizer that they're using seems to be pretty potent.
Mhm.
My question is does that fertilizer wear out? After you've used it, it wears out, does it
does not,
does it go away?
the thing is that you soil and soil every harvest will be stopped.
So there's no leakage out of that, and nothing's gonna go into a septic tank and,
No, it's water is
I mean,
precious.
this stuff looks extremely dangerous,
No,
this fertilizer.
not really, not really. Then basically is that how you apply it. And I too much, and I too few. It's only days all the time. So, of danger, people looking there, no.
So it's gonna be disposed of properly,
Yes,
because if not, you could mess up your neighbor's wells or something.
it will mess up. Water
Right.
itself, so we
Right.
wouldn't want that to happen. And we
So how do you propose to take care of that?
it almost it will be in soil. And once it's harvested, the soil will be disposed of from the property.
Where will you dispose that, to the landfill or to the?
No, it's not to landfill, actually to place that is they do allow this kind of disposal. We have yet to identify which place that can dispose of it safe.
Where would that be?
We still in the process of.
You just when the dumpster.
What's that?
We will have it in the dumpster and then we will find a place where we can dispose of the soil. That is, that the people can.
So the person that puts it, you're gonna put it in a dumpster, but it must be a company that brings you the dumpster.
Yes.
Are they gonna be the ones responsible for
Right now,
taking care of it?
so. Which. we can take this, to the soil. And. Then we're not destroying.
Well, that, we probably ought to know that before we accept this, where that contaminated soil is gonna be disposed of.
All that, the soil is contaminated.
So how do
Well, anything's contaminated, once you start, you change things, I'm not saying it's contaminated with oil, but it's contaminated with fertilizer, which is still a contamination. All I'm saying is that before, we should know where it's gonna go and be disposed of before we.
Well, we can get that information by one day.
Well, we won't have nothing, we'll have, then we can pick it up at the next meeting. And everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the hazard identification on this Exhibit L, and it says, the signal word is danger, okay, which throws up a red flag to me. The second part of it is do not breathe vapor or mist, do not ingest. You don't get in your eyes, skin, clothing, use adequate ventilation, keep container tightly closed. That wouldn't be a dumpster.
No,
And sealed until ready to use, okay, which is, you're gonna have that product probably come to you in sealed container.
Yes,
And then you apply it
yes.
diluted with water onto your product, correct?
Yeah, we have to be cautious.
So now you got a container to deal with too, right? 'Cause that container's dangerous.
No, the water is only deep. But the fertilizer is mixing with water.
Okay, but what about the container the fertilizer comes in?
It is sealed.
And you seal it back up?
yeah, but he's saying when it's empty. Once it's
Empty
empty, what do you do
container.
with that container?
Again, it's gonna be disposed of. For license of the postal company, which we will identify.
Okay,
If I could suggest to the board, maybe a condition of approval would be that we have a soil and or waste disposal plan on file as a part of the application, and that a current contract for such service be maintained with the town.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to not see it go to waste management for sure, seeing that we're all downhill, but it. I don't know if you.
well, I'd rather see it at waste management, I would out in the backwoods somewhere.
Absolutely, I'm sure
And
they,
waste management, at least it's all concealed, contained,
right.
but I
agree.
don't know if they would even accept it out there anyway.
That's right.
Wonder if he get it already.
What's that?
There's many of them around. I
Oh,
wonder-
they probably are getting it through. Just local dumpsters and the,
Yeah, I mean,
and people are just throwing it in there. That's why we need to get it. Get it taken care of before it becomes broke.
Yeah.
So do we continue with number 4 or use that in the
So number 4 is the adverse
effect
effect
on the
on
wetlands?
wetlands. I believe if you go further down, it'll talk about waste disposal.
Number
Number
7?
well,
No.
no, 13, the proposed activity will not have a significant detrimental effect on adjacent land uses or other properties which might be affected by waste. Noise, glare, fumes, smoke, dust, odors, or their effects. That's the catch up for almost every site plan review.
Okay,
I'm not sure that the proposed activity would have an adverse effect on the wetlands, given that the wetlands themselves are at the very rear of the property. I think the concerns expressed are valid, and they belong under a different item.
Gotcha,
okay,
I agree.
so we'll continue until we get to
You
that.
need a motion, yeah, but a motion.
13 should be flagged.
Yep,
So a motion order would be to find the application in compliance with the proposed activity not having an adverse impact on wetlands.
okay. Do I have a motion?
And make a motion to accept number 4.
Okay. Second,
I'll
any discussion? All those in favor? That's 3. Opposed?
I have 3 opposed, 3 in favor, 1 opposed. I have 1 outstanding vote. Please recall the vote. All those in favor.
All those in favor? Opposed?
3-2.
3 and 2.
Yeah.
The proposed activity will not have an adverse impact upon any water body such as a lake, pond, river, or stream. The proposed project is not in the proximity of any water body. The nearest stream is an unnamed stream near the rear of the property. The subject conversion building is approximately 375 feet from the stream. Does the board find the?
Who come up with that? Oh, okay.
We can have a discussion.
Yeah, I kind of, who come up with the measurements of 375 feet?
We use the corner of the back corner of the building to the mapped street in the rear of the property using GIS mapping.
That's what come up with 375 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion?
We still need a motion to, on number 4 to accept that, or
On number 5, we're on number.
oh, 5, okay, I'm sorry. I make a motion to accept number 5 as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
Any discussion? All those in favor? That's all. The proposed activity will provide for adequate stormwater management.
Yeah, I reckon pushing that, cause I don't see anything, I don't see any change.
No, there's no stormwater.
Yeah.
Then it's not good, but. A second,
I'll second.
all those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Hold the discussion.
Okay,
So again, we go back to, adequate storage, outside storage of this is gonna be my question, if it's on top of the ground, which it looks like it's gonna be. Where's the stormwater from that building go? Into the ground, into neighbors, I mean, what I saw down there, some really close neighbors.
You're talking about the storage of outdoor, the outdoor storage of materials?
Yeah, any hazardous material, unless. At some point in time, they come back and say that we have adequate storage for that on the outside of the facility. Until the unit is picked up or whatever, otherwise than that, I haven't seen a dumpster that doesn't leak.
Can I answer your question?
Sure.
No, whatever materials, flow will be outside of the unit. Everything will be inside, and we have more than adequate space to store whatever is needed. So there will be no necessity in outside.
I have a question, cause I was just looking up that chemical. It presents an airborne,
This is not, this isn't where it belongs.
it's not where it belongs.
You're gonna have to revisit that when it's approved.
13.
Yeah. Might I suggest the restriction of outdoor storage of growing materials or supplies?
Oh, absolutely,
And we'll rework that into something a little bit more binding for proposed conditions.
absolutely.
Would that satisfy your concerns related to this item?
Yeah, for now.
Madam Chair, you have a comment from the public?
More of a
Go ahead.
question,
Okay,
is the
sure.
only way that something would pose a hazard is to get into the water table is if it was outside of the building. It's not possible that something inside of the building could pose a water hazard. There's not drains, there's not.
There will not be any water draining out, because water is precious, you use every drop of it, and none of it will be discharged.
What
Yes,
about, but leaks or or overflows or mistakes, things that you couldn't, that you could never say could never happen, errors or spills?
Generally speaking, the amount of this nutrient that is added into the water to feed the plant just a very small amount every time is needed. You do not use a whole pail of it again or whatever, it's like ounces. So if it's over, or feed it over, like we were here the plants, our maximum over us. That. But and anyway, the only water that is being generated will be the what you call heat pump, will be the condensate. And in fact, that condensate will be using that produce that too from the heat pump. So the water is not going to discharge. And as for the danger of this, the workers will be far more careful, as that would affect them directly. And they know how to do it properly.
They're not drinking the water or living in it though, that's a whole different thing.
Well, it's going to be like enclosed every of the eight licensed caregiver would have their own separate, inside internal, they would be partitioned off. And because it is, and we will, because using heat pumps, air go out.
So what are you gonna have? Several growing operations in this one building?
Yes, it's going to be partition off first under the OCP
Right.
licensing. All caregiver has to have separate rooms.
So who's gonna be responsible for all these different growers?
Well,
Are they gonna be responsible for themselves, or is there gonna be, are you gonna be responsible for all?
for every one of them, be responsible, each caregiver, yeah, says they would be responsible on the naming license.
But
So there's no
who's,
one,
if there's, if
it's
you
not
got,
off anything like that.
yeah, if you got 8 growers in there. It's, who's gonna be responsible for them if one of them makes a mistake, or are they all gonna be required to have insurance policies,
Yes,
or are they gonna be?
There will be insurance policy for them. But the individual care owner license held, they are responsible for themselves, their license.
Right.
Nobody, no, there's no like a manager or something to manage them.
So they're considered
who-
like a subcontractor.
Well, yeah, but
That's
who,
what I'm understanding.
right, well, but who do you go to if there's an issue? You can't, you got 8 different people and he's saying he did it and he's saying he did it, and so now you get, somebody's gotta be responsible for these 8 people.
They are
8
responsible for the rooms.
Their rooms, but somebody's gonna be responsible for all the 8 of these people that's working there. I know they're subcontractors, but even still, you're renting them the spaces.
We rent out to one person, this person.
Oh, so you would oversee all of them, right?
There's one manager.
Yeah.
Main tenant, one who signed the lease, he would be the,
That will answer
yes.
and be responsible for
Yes,
all
because
these other 8
his name is
tenants.
under the lease, so he will be responsible for this, all these 8 or 7 K.
We also will make sure that he is the one who is responsible
We wanna know that beforehand, so if, when something goes wrong, we know who to get in contact.
Well, the person who signed the lease.
Right.
For the building.
So the town will be notified on who's in charge
Yes,
of that.
take it down.
I can notify.
Yeah, we can send you a copy of it.
Yeah, they can
There
notify
is.
us and we will talk to manager.
We will, if you at the town need a copy of the lease, we get it for the.
So I got a real quick question that kind of pops up. You know, we're talking about a product that you use that looks kind of hazardous. It looks hazardous in the concentrated form, but you're gonna dilute the heck out of that.
Yes.
I mean, if you got a 55 gallon, if you have a 55 gallon drum, you might use 10 ounces out of that. Okay, oh, it's not that big. Well, anyway, just
Like, and
5 gallons.
it's no different from just any tomato farm or any vegetable farm. And they can say yours, you're in response to the form, but the way how it's utilized in the plant is just similar like tomato. That is, and it's a farm produce.
Even fertilizer can be dangerous if not
Yes, only
used
like anything
properly.
that's concentrated, yes, but then how you apply it, you can, it's, the amount is very small. And we-
Well, I understand that, that's what's supposed to be done, but we'll say if it doesn't get done, so
Well,
who's gonna
they
be,
don't do
who
it,
do you talk to?
no, they,
Screws up.
you see, the thing that's gonna affect their house. You know, they are not here to use money. You know, and they are not going to like, jeopardize their business because then they're gonna put a lot of money in. So it's not just
Well, these families here live real close to that facility, so it would be probably quite different if they were 200 or 300 feet away.
it will affect those people then more than the neighbors, because it's like property space and spot. So what my working mind is that the workers will be more careful about using product than any other neighbors, because they are in direct contact. And they do not know how to apply in the proportion, they might as well give up, because their harvest is not going to be any good. Yeah, that's a problem.
No, not really. You still gotta have a person that answers to the complaints. Or so if something goes wrong, there's gonna be one person.
Talking out the lease, the one who's leasing and contacts and whatever.
So you're gonna have 8 people lease it.
No.
Oh, just one person. And he's gonna be in charge of all these other 8 growers.
Well, technically it would be because his name was there.
Well, so we can make one call to him.
Yes. And you can call us also. And present people over.
So these registered caregivers have to be registered under the state of Maine in order to be able to do what they want to do with that
And
facility.
they have to go to the background check for.
That's that component there, who would be leasing or subleasing these areas. At the end of the day, none of us are attorneys, I don't believe in the room. Liability is gonna be where the pocket's the deepest generally. And so we're not gonna get a straight answer, and we are under stormwater management still.
Yeah.
I see some looks from the public, and so I just want to assure you that when the planning board approves, if a planning board approves an application, the application, supporting documentation and evidence submitted as a part of the process becomes a part of that approval. So if you have concerns about containment, when the applicant or the applicant's agent speaks to containment and guarantees containment or guarantees proper disposal, that is incorporated in the record. And so this meeting is recorded beyond the written minutes that I have, and that becomes a part of the approval. Okay, so I know it doesn't make you feel great, but I know that there are a lot of concerns about chemicals and materials and, when there's a commitment made by the applicant or the applicant's agent, then that's a guarantee that is a part of their permit.
Okay, the proposed activity will provide for adequate stormwater management.
You have a motion in a second to say that it is.
All those in favor? Opposed?
I had a four.
Oh, you're,
Are you in favor or opposed?
Neither.
And the grounds for abstention?
I just need more answers.
I can move anything.
The proposed activity will provide for adequate sewage disposal.
We gotta have facilities in the building for sewage,
I believe there's an existing.
toilets,
septic.
gotta have a shower.
Only for the house, there's nothing for the barn, I don't believe.
You gotta have something in the barn.
Are you having,
Inside toilets,
No,
what are the workers gonna do?
they have a house.
Go into the house, they're all gonna go into the house. Does it have a septic system that's designed that will handle that? How many workers? 8 people?
Not all of them are gonna stay there. I don't, whatever.
But no, but when they're working there, they're all gonna be.
No, they're not gonna all stay in the same.
No, I'm not saying they're gonna stay there, but when they're working there and they gotta go to the bathroom, are they gonna go outside and crap on the ground, or are they gonna go into
They
the
go
house?
to the house.
Okay, so now you got 8 people or whatever workers there are, all going into a house that you have a septic system designed for a 3-bedroom house. Now you got 8 or 10 people or 12 people going
There
in
will
there.
be more than.
Okay, so which is, that system was designed for that many.
In fact, not necessarily all 8 have to be there because.
Right.
They will have the, what you call RIC part whereby it's not, all 8 people, you could be just 4 person. You have been. Yeah, 4 and not. So, you could all put it together, so it's not like days, every day there are 8 people there. It's not it's not how it works. It is before January. It's all the 8.
So I don't think the law is gonna be a accommodating to the. There's 8 people using the house, even though it's only 3 bedrooms or something like that. My question is maybe related more to life safety, if you will. These folks are gonna be in growing spaces.
We will,
Let me finish, sorry. They're gonna be in there, we know that, fact. They're gonna be dealing with fertilizer, they're gonna have dirt on their hands, they're gonna have dirt in their face, they're gonna have face masks on, there's gonna be hot and humid temperatures in these facilities. Generally,
no, it's not.
It's not humid?
Humid,
okay,
yes, but
so-
not necessarily because of heat pumping that is.
there's no internal plumbing to this facility that provides for a face wash station or hand wash station or anything else.
Well, but depending on whether they find it necessary or they find it inconvenient to go to the house.
I think they kind of have to.
But it's a matter of state regulation, because the town doesn't regulate this, it's a matter of state regulation. Do they not require these type of safety facilities in a cultivation facility?
A swimming basin. Or.
Right, so internal plumbing, are there any internal plumbing requirements? Like you're gonna be watering, you're gonna have hose access in there. If that's going into your plants, then great, but the second it goes into a sink or
No, it
container
will
vessel.
not, they have a self-containing, what do you call? Tank.
It recycles, all their water
It will-
recycles.
Yeah, all the water.
So there's no hand wash, anything. There's not gonna be any running water in that facility,
There will be from the well to the container.
just for the purposes of irrigation.
Yes, not for hygiene.
I think there's requirements because these chemicals fall under OSHA, okay, for eye wash stations.
Do you have any expertise as to what the requirement is for OSHA or the chemicals?
Some of it's right in there, 20 minutes flushing.
That's, I do respect, I'm not an elected member of the board, but unless you have something that is fact, it really shouldn't be presented as a part of this. If you have questions for them and you want to ask them about the regulations, the OSHA regulations surrounding that, then that's relevant, but to submit testimony when you don't have the qualifications is not appropriate. Do you want to ask the applicants or the applicant's agent the question about OSHA requirements?
So do you know if there's an OSHA requirement that would require you to put in a shower? Wait a minute, in case somebody gets a splash or contaminated, they have to jump in the shower real quick. They gotta run how many feet to the house? It's quite a ways away,
15.
especially if it's bad.
Well, basically, like I said, they're dealing with a very small amount of whatever nutrient. It's not that you have to take a big bucket, it's like, ounces. So,
So that it's pretty potent,
yes, and expensive.
so you could take 2 ounces and accidentally
No,
trip and
you
get
will
it in
not,
your face.
unless you ingest it, other than that, even just a spill, it will not be like, like it's radioactive or anything like that, anthrax or
Oh, no.
any poison. And I understand your concern, but the thing is that I think that the workers are far more concerned for the safety,
Well, that's what we're talking about. is the
Yeah, they
workers.
know what they're doing, if they do not know what they're doing, their hours will not be any good. If you do not know what you do, are doing, and you do not know how to, to be careful with it, you have no business in the program at all.
So is this, Richard, is the safety concern of the workers something that we should be discussing?
Not generally,
Okay,
I went there.
I mean, there are
To try to
questions.
mine out questions about internal plumbing
Yeah,
and what might be there. If there was a hand washing sink, then that is considered as part of subsurface, because we're on septic, right?
But I mean, they could put in another subsurface system and put it for so they could have a bathroom or wash station
Right.
You
in
do not
that.
have
barn.
plans to do that.
What's that?
You do not plan to be separate.
You do have plans,
No, we do not.
you do not have plans, but what I'm saying is that you can put a wash station in a bathroom right in that
That will
barn.
require a whole separate system.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, you're
We
talking,
do not plan on
you're not talking much money for that.
a substantive outlay.
It's just that.
yeah. Hopefully a holding tank enough.
Oh, you,
Lot of work
that
and-
soil,
lot of work
is
and
good, you could put a leach field in there.
Yeah.
But then again, of course, then you put a leach field in with these people that pull their water. So. Alright. Next,
There's no motion or second on the application compliant with adequate sewage disposal.
Do I have a motion?
Couldn't-
Second. Was in favor? Opposed?
What was the vote?
3-2.
Okay.
It was.
The proposed activity will not adversely impact any floodplain areas and will conform to the applicable requirements of the town of Norridgewock floodplain management ordinance. The project is in zone X. Motion,
Motion to accept number 8 is written.
second. All those in favor? Any discussion? All those in favor?
We're not casting votes. Are you in favor? You're opposed?
I want more information.
They're not in floodplain.
Hmm?
They're not.
No.
in-
it's not in the floodplains, is all that is. At least was last I knew they went up there.
We'll cite a lack of information.
The proposed activity will not result in air or water pollution.
A motion to get it going,
Yeah,
I'll make that motion.
second,
Definitely open it for conversation.
yeah. Any discussion?
Now, this is what you want to talk about the airborne.
I'm done.
You done?
So. If you've got this facility running back and forth like this, and you have people on each side about our neighbors. And you're gonna put out heat pumps,
Yes,
I'm gonna smell marijuana.
there will be other mitigation, there will be carbon filter. If there's air coming out, it will be filtered by carbon filter.
So this is like something really new.
It's not new, it's common knowledge from, you need to have a carbon filter before the air is expressed out of the filter. You have to mitigate it with charcoal filter.
So I go by a couple of facilities. One really big one in Farmington. And over on the road, way adjacent to it, when I go by, I can smell it.
Because the buildings leak
Okay,
is not, because that existing building is not, it leaks. But then we're gonna have partition, every room
okay,
will have.
but those heat pumps are pulling air out.
Yeah, but the heat pumps, but there is no smell coming from the heat, from the,
No outside smell. You can stand in front of it and not smell marijuana.
in front of the pump. But there will be air circulating in the room itself for the plant to breathe. There will be air intake coming in, air that's going out will be filtered by the carbon filter.
The whole. I mean, it's a pretty good smell, but. I mean, and then, I'm just referencing other facilities that I go by and I can smell marijuana. You go by Mercer on Route 2, just before Christie's, and you can smell marijuana.
Well, this operation rule, that, we, for client, so advise that anything that if the building is leaking, if they go from the garage.
Yeah.
And it definitely leaks, definitely you will smell.
So do you have an active facility now?
No, we.
This is your first.
No, we are the owner, and we represent the owner.
Oh, I see.
And also we are consultant for our client getting the license.
Yeah.
We comply with the OCP rules and regulation, we advise them the proper way to grow. And that's what we do. And The last thing they want to, first thing, they don't want to break the OCP rules and regulations. Second thing, neighbors, they want neighbors coming in and complaining to every one of our countries. We advise them, tell them that it's super critical to not be a nuisance to the neighbor.
Okay, and as far as the outside units of the heat pumps,
You will smell anything coming out from.
Noise?
No, they will,
I mean, you're gonna have 50 of them.
No.
How many you gonna have?
I'm
It's a
not
big
sure,
building.
it all depends on what our client, how the way it grow, and saying they will not.
Okay. Okay.
Reason why, like Mercer, you can smell it, they run a lot of exhaust fans. This chemical becomes airborne and there's a OSHA limit on how much you can actually breathe.
I think, excuse me, sir, I think you have overstated for you thing. If you put it at the water and, it's not airborne, you know, like it's the chemical, you know, mysteriously.
Well, I mean, marijuana is fragrant than it is, as a plant.
Yeah, but it is saying about the chemical itself, you know, which is.
No, I don't care about the chemical right now.
This is, all the mitigation is very important. Like I say, OCP rules and regulation and it was, it's very, very.
You're gonna be using fertilizer on these products largely,
Yes,
and we're pulling air from the facility. So this item's about pollution, not about smell, I get it. Well, tied together, how do you intend to keep fertilizer chemicals, airborne, from escaping the building and polluting the air? This is air pollution, so chemicals is what I'm thinking of when I talk about air
I
pollution.
mean, the parts you know, per either, cubic feet. It's not that you can, even if you open up the chemical, you cannot really smell it. You know, it's like escaping through, you know, it's so, minute, it's minute.
So there's no airborne threat
Not
by breathing in this chemical?
Not, yeah, the first person will be, the workers will be, affected.
I appreciate that somebody wants to take a paycheck from working in this environment. But these people that live next door to you or across the street don't get paid to do your business. So there's an exposure, which is why we have the process. To include the neighbors and talk about air pollution and chemicals that could be in the air. And so I really just wanna make sure that we've got guarantees that products that would be there, products that might be in the air. That might be exhausted and discharged into the outside air are not affecting your butters.
So it'll be very minute. It is not like you can smell it at all, you know.
I'm not talking about odors, that's,
No,
I'm talking about pure air
The
pollution.
chemical, you are alluding to, like you were saying, talking about the chemical. Now, the ability to affect neighbors is like, it's almost impossible. For it to, for the nutrient to have that kind of effect, it's almost impossible. Because half the cubic feet of air or the air, that's not. And it will not.
Well, I think what we're asking is, what are you gonna do to assure us that the stuff does not get airborne,
But simply the
other than words?
quantity that is being used is not, it will not never ever go over the threshold, even for anyone in the vicinity to smell it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what are you gonna do to make sure that this does not get airborne? You guys gonna put filters on, you're gonna,
For
Enclosed.
for the nutrient.
for the chemicals that he, like
The
they're talking.
nutrient, very like the nutrient, and it, and like I said, the amount being applied is just, you're talking about
Ounces that's very concentrated.
concentrated for the benefit of plant, but not the, in terms of the odor, you will not be able to smell it.
I don't wanna overstep as an administrator, not a member of the board, but. On one of these Bloom SDS sheets, which we agreed to as samples of what was here, not knowing what your growers would actually use. One of the precautions under section 7, handling and storage, is used with adequate ventilation. Do not ingest, do not breathe vapors, do not pour on skin. If ingested, seek medical advice immediately and show the container or the label on the container. So I appreciate the quantities that you say that your growers will use. But I also want to ensure that anybody else that's potentially exposed is protected. And I'm not sure if, I mean, this is obviously a powder of some sort, not maybe a liquid.
No, it's different.
Okay, so. I think that in order to move beyond the air pollution factor, that it would need to be something that could ensure that this would not happen. And I'm not qualified, and I'm not sure your qualifications to speak to that as well, other than maybe experience in the industry.
It is simple common sense and logic.
Yeah, but we're giving you, our concerns so that you, when you come to the next meeting, you can address them concerns and say, okay, this is what we propose to do. Or not do, or whatever.
Well,
So can you use the word never. Can you come up with, or is there a system that goes with your heat pumps? With the discharge? That would monitor any odor or any pollutants that would be going out of the building? I mean, I see that, I see that you have, they have filters, carbon filtration, I mean, great.
the carbon filtration,
What if, I guess the question is, what if something does get sent out there? Do you have a monitor on, would there be a monitor that could be placed on that outside portion of that heat pump that would say, stop the heat pump so we don't send anything out?
well, this heat pump is just to, what do you call more, maintain certain temperature.
Sure,
I mean,
I have one, I know how it works.
yes,
I
and.
mean, like, my new
Yeah,
filter.
it takes out the hot air.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then the temperature will drop.
Yeah.
But basically, the outdoor unit of the heat pump, it is off. You cannot, there is no smell from it. Even if you're housing and you have a heat pump, if the outdoor unit will not be able to smell because they have filters and filters for it. And in terms of, let's see, I think coming back to all the nutrient and chemical, all that. We are talking about a very small amount. And even if I put one cup over in this room exposed, we wouldn't be able to smell it and it would not even affect anyone in any way. And we do not have any chemist right here. Or any chemicals, and I am certainly not one, but through our 8 years of experience, we know that it is not what do you call dangerous in that sense.
Would you be able to provide us with something in writing from the product manufacturer that echoed that shared that reduction or quantified that level of risk? Would you be able to go to Bloom and say, this is what it is?
If we haven't, of all the many town meeting that we attended, this was never ever asked for, and we haven't had this requirement.
This is a very sharp board.
Well,
And we're trying to protect the butters, the environment. One of the things is if those workers have to wear respirators, special filters on them,
no,
working with the chemicals, and they vent that outside, that's eventually gonna go outside, okay? Just like when we approved, down at, Waste Management, their PFAS building, they had filters, they used an ultraviolet filtration system to monitor the air when it was going out.
Sure.
Okay, I personally think that there should be some monitoring, some filtration system installed before they put it out and pollute wells, or, I mean, maybe a very minute going out there today, but that's tomorrow, that's the next day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's years down the road,
I agree,
okay?
I agree. I mean, and like he said, you know, some of these older facilities, I mean, we've all been by them,
How long has Mercer been in business?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and there's not really any butters
No.
around that facility.
right. That's a good
Okay.
one, but the one in Farmington, there's got people all around it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big one,
Okay,
and most of the air is being sent to, well, part of it goes to the fairgrounds, the other part of it goes to an old folks facility, not old folks, but.
That's why it's a habit.
Correct.
my big
I agree
concern
with you. I
over
think
this,
there should be some kind of a monitor on that unit that says, we're getting too much, we gotta shut this down.
my concern over this young lady that worked in the jail, that ended up in the jail, I did 16 years jail ministry. She was in there, I knew her father, she got her license and worked in one up northern Maine. When it first became legal, she's dead now from cancer.
Yeah.
Okay,
My sense of the board is that we're not gonna get a majority vote to deem this to be in compliance because of air pollution. So could we ask you to please provide us with more information or protections regarding air pollution?
From the chemical that is the nutrient.
My suggestion was to get something from the product manufacturer that quantifies or explains what you're conveying, somebody that has that expertise. And if what you're saying aligns with what they provide for a statement, I think that eases folks' concern.
I think we.
And if it doesn't, then we're looking at maybe some of those other mechanisms, outdoor meters or things like that.
I don't believe there's such a sensor for.
Okay,
But
so
then,
maybe your manufacturer would be able
yes,
to help
but
us.
we shall look into it. We will be in touch with the manufacturer of the nutrient.
could you get the OSHA report on what this chemical is and its airborne concentration, its maximum limits, those kind of things? Because they're what governs all this stuff here in the US.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have anything on PPM here, parts per million.
It's.
Well, online there's stuff,
Okay,
okay,
and the only reason I bring this up, well, you know, that I've been talking about this is, my son is a chemist. And he's.
your son is what?
A chemist, and he's actually made this product. And he knows a lot about it, and he says, you know, adequate ventilation, proper protection, so it's dangerous. It already says dangerous.
And what I was reading, that's more from Australia, where they're a whole different world. Okay, we run some pretty strict regulations here in the US.
Sure,
I used to be OSHA certified for a job site, so
well, good, well, then you got it,
this is my big concern, safety.
sure,
We can most certainly reach out to our the supplier and the manufacturer, get our this specific and maybe we'll raise some your concern with them and say, okay, first. I will know it. Yes. And yeah. And as you say your science is staying, yes, but then it's a lot of it is like common sense. A lot just common sense, so you need to do rocket science to apply. You know, at the end, if you, it's really not rocket science, you know, and you're asking for that data on this thing is like, you are like.
We're not trying to give you a hard time, we're just trying to make sure that it's, the concerns are taken care of before they become problems.
But because of our experience with so many group, we know the.
I thought you said this was your first grow.
No, it's not. We are consultants
Oh,
for our client, and this we represent the owner of this property related, and we have been dealing with a lot of our client grow and use all these chemicals, you know, and we know the kind of necessary precaution, and they know what they're doing. Like I said, if they do not know what they're doing, their house will be better, because you do not know how to, you grow tomato, and you do not give over, use your nutrient, the plant will die.
Well,
So-
we have a problem right now in town that we've had 5 or 6 growing operations that are closed down, that have been shut down by the federal government. And the buildings sit there empty and full of black mold and everything else.
You're talking about illegal people.
I understand, that's what I'm saying, but I'm saying is that we already have 4 or 5 in town that are shut down. We don't wanna see that happen to you and these guys living beside it.
Like I said, we are licensed by the state.
Yeah.
Well, they went through the same process, right?
Right,
They had to come to the board. I wasn't on the board then.
Yeah.
Some of these, no, they didn't.
No,
Those were
they
just-
haven't.
Just plain illegal
They're
growth.
playing illegal, yeah.
We have never had a proposed,
This is the first.
applicated,
well,
approved facility.
what about the roller skating rink up there, isn't that
Oh, you did
a
have-
facility?
That
Yeah.
was, and that
Right.
was, they attempted retail and then it was rolled back and now it was wholesale or delivery only.
But there was never.
But the square
through the
footage
board.
is,
That's being,
square footage changes, right?
but that's a big square footage up there, I mean, you're talking 60 by 200.
Yeah, but the interior dimensions of what they're actually changing, and it's not a change of use right now.
No, they aren't, but they've changed ownerships and they're going to a eight unit building also.
Right, but to change it, I don't think they can go to an 8 unit.
That's what
They have
the
to have 1,500
proposal,
square feet.
that's what the proposal is, that I've heard. But anyway, that's another subject, this is. that is-
Mr. Farren made a motion to say that the application was in compliance, that will not result in air or water pollution, and that was seconded by Mr. Levitt in order to create this discussion. Do the members making those motions and second wish to withdraw those motion and second so that we can move on to the next and ask the applicant's agent to provide additional material for the next meeting?
Yeah, I would make a motion that we
I
withdraw.
need you to withdraw.
I'll withdraw.
Charlie,
I'll withdraw.
thank you.
Then,
Clean slate.
And to be discussed later with more information, correct?
You will revisit that motion again at the next regular meeting with supporting documentation,
Thank you,
or not.
thank you.
This meeting will be the 1st of August.
It'll be August the 6th if the applicant's agent has enough time to provide us with information in advance. Because you folks need to have the opportunity to review the materials, and the abutters will want the opportunity to come in and review them if they would love to as well. Be about a 2-week window to turn around information.
The proposed activity has sufficient water available for the current and foreseeable needs of the development. There are 2 existing wells on the property.
I make a motion, step number 10 is written, we can open it up.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
There is not a map of it, of existing wells.
So we don't know where they're at, they might be 10 feet from these guys' wells, or they might be,
The applicants have 2 wells on the property.
but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But we don't know the adjacent property where their wells are adjacent to their wells.
They're sitting on that same map aquifer that the
Exactly.
subdivision is, and that comes all the way down the top of Waterville Hill.
Yeah, no,
Well, one of them wells was deep well,
That's one.
well, I know that Ivan Boyd, when he put that chicken house well in, I thought that it was like 600 feet deep,
or the Vandermeer down there.
yeah,
That was.
well, that's on your property,
Ah,
that's on the old Ivan Boyd farm.
Yeah.
So what's on their property for a well? You don't know,
probably just dug wells.
dug well,
I was, cause
are
I
they dug wells or drill wells? There's 2 dug wells,
Why would they have needed to?
Well,
I-
he used the chicken barn, used, well, we. So that was just for Brian's house.
well, them were in by Taylor, weren't they?
No.
No,
No, those are the ones that were on our. On our property.
I thought yours was a drill well.
It is, but when we first moved in there, we dug one, that's the one you're thinking
Yeah,
of, but then we hooked into the drill, the deep well.
Gotcha. So you feel that that's gonna be adequate to supply the water you're gonna need? Them dug wells?
So, because before they raised thousands of chickens, and we know how much.
Not them dug wells did, their drill well, did, we Ivan Boyer had put in.
Before, when it was a chicken barn,
Yeah,
they were raising thousands of chicken.
I know, I worked there. I
They
was
were
up there
using the
feeding
well
them,
on our
I was feeding them suckers.
So does he still hooked in?
From your end?
Is your well that you have on your property still hooked into them?
No,
No, not at all.
No.
It's,
But it's
just on that property.
But it's on your
it's
property,
on our, it's our well, yeah.
and they have 2 dug wells on there.
So they didn't use the dug wells to run the chicken barn.
No, no.
Do you need much water?
Sorry,
Do you need much water?
yes.
What's your approximate daily usage that you forecast that you'll use?
Right now, we are getting a well expert to give us the quantity of water that is that we have. And we are mix. And I did want to call okay, mark. Okay. And also again, that they will be also utilizing the condensate from the AC.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that you have a well professional that's reviewing the quality and water supply within your 2 existing wells, and you're gonna recycle
Yeah.
water that is
They're from the.
condensated from your heat pump?
Yes, yes.
Pleasure of the board, I would probably seek the withdrawal of that motion in the second and revisit this when you have
I would draw.
a written report from your well company, and we would like that at the next meeting.
Oh.
Please. So that was Levitt and Farren. Both agreeable to withdrawing.
Don't worry about it.
Number 11, the proposed activity will not alone or in conjunction with existing activities affect the quality or quantity of groundwater.
Which that we won't know until we get the study. Right,
We'll hold that
so
one.
hold that one.
With those 10. Number 12, the proposed activity will dispose of all solid waste in conformance with all local regulations, and that the type and quantity of waste proposed to be sent to town facilities will not exceed their capacity.
Well, we can, well, guess we're gonna make a motion then before we can discuss it, right?
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
I make a motion.
Second,
Yeah, I'll say.
okay, discussion?
Yes, so, they gonna check with Waste Man or wherever they plan on disposing their waste,
Yes,
they're gonna have to get a,
they're gonna have to show us a contract
right,
with somebody and,
exactly,
a specific place that they can, that's going to take it,
take the waste.
waste, yeah.
Now you guys need to withdraw.
I would draw.
Well, wait. You can move this through and place the condition of approval that they provide you with that contract. And their waste
I thought that's
disposal.
what we said.
So you would say that this is in compliance. And you're gonna add that condition in. 'Cause that's the only way you're gonna find compliance with this, is if you add that condition. So we will incorporate the condition of the disposal plan and a contract. That will be a condition of the approval. And then that makes this compliant. So the motion would stand. In exchange for adding that condition.
What difference does it make? I mean, we gotta come back with these other ones anyway. So they can bring that up with them,
Well, they may not have the waste disposal plan at the next meeting.
then it doesn't get approved.
Pleasure of the board.
And just put it right on with the rest of them that we've already got,
Yeah, we've got it.
so we need you guys to withdraw,
Withdraw.
okay,
Yeah, so.
More info.
Okay.
more info.
And so number 13, we are waiting on. That's gonna be addressed at the next meeting. The proposed activity will not have a significant detrimental effect on adjacent land uses or other properties which might be affected by waste, noise, glare, fumes, smoke, dust, odors, or their effects.
So this was addressed as a line item. It's obviously one of the biggest catches in most site plan review applications. So if you look at their application, there's a discussion about carbon filters.
Odor control systems designed to capture and neutralize.
Right, so I think you'd wanna look at what they've provided in their application, and then if you want more or less greater explanation that we inform them of that too, or what they propose for measures is adequate.
Well, basically a plan on what's gonna be done.
So that's in their application,
Okay.
right? There are full, pretty near a full page, the last page of the cover, if you will. Go beyond the spreadsheet, and then it's the next page, just before the maps.
Excuse me.
Just before the deed, I guess is.
Okay.
Right.
So does this, can I read this and see if this answers any question? This is on item number 8 in there, exposure control protection. This personal workplace atmosphere or biological monitoring may be required to determine the effectiveness of ventilation and other control measures and or necessary to use respiratory protective equipment. And then it says use only with adequate ventilation, use process enclosures, local exhaust ventilation and or other engineering controls to keep workers exposed to airborne contaminants below any recommended statutory limits. So there are limits that are set by federal. Okay. The engineering controls also need gas, vapor, dust concentrations below any other explosive limits, inside or out. Doesn't say inside or out. My
Right,
question is inside or and out. So that would go to the point of what we talked about, them having some kind of a monitor on the outside of their ventilation system that says this is not adequate, or this is adequate.
And this fertilizer and everything gets delivered in a mist form, I take it.
No.
In the water system or misting the plants or whatever.
Can you do that?
It comes in, it looks just like,
he's talking about application.
He's applying it to the plant.
Oh, I
what
see.
He's talking.
okay,
Because the mist is considered a hazardous material.
sure, anything,
It
yeah.
does not generate any mist, it is
No.
what mist? Right?
How do you apply it to the plant?
Put it on, we have a water container, big water container. You know, where
Yeah.
the nutrients are mixed into, into the water.
And then when it comes from there and it goes to the plants,
And
it's on a tube.
yes, it's on. Tube.
And how does it go from the tube into the soil or onto the plants? Is it a mist or is it a
No,
drip
no,
or
just drip,
drip?
drip, not a mist.
The application notes that there will likely be a mix of traditional grow and hydroponic. So that hydroponic, I'm assuming, would already have
That will be a mist,
fertilizer in it.
right, but that will be a mist.
No,
Hydroponic.
No,
We're hydroponic, yeah, it's just in water.
Gotcha.
it will be a mist.
And where are we at?
I don't know.
We are determining whether the next door neighbors, adjacent land users or other properties would be affected by waste, noise, glare, fumes, smoke, dust, odors, or their effect.
We're on number 13, I think.
Do you trim plants?
Yes.
Thank you, I didn't- my lingo, I guess.
On the wall.
You're gonna trim, what do you do
Yeah.
for trimming?
We will, send it to our license extractor.
The trimming is,
Yes.
and those are all sorted in bag
Yes.
until they get sent out.
Yeah, but even if we transport it from one place to
Hey.
another place, we have to have a trip keeper, we have to have all these paperwork. And then we have to go to
Then this one, here.
wherever the flowers.
Well,
How many? We talked about, when you were working on your application, I was speaking to you, we talked about a couple movements per day of workers. But then we talked about moving the product itself, what frequency do you expect from a noise perspective?
It's at least, every 4 months, it will be once a month.
Okay,
After that.
so you're trimming and only once a month they're gonna come and get your trims,
Yes,
okay? And that's a tractor trailer truck or a U-Haul truck or,
but yeah, depending on the
Okay.
amount.
what about security lighting on the facility?
Yeah, we would be installing what you call cameras all around, motion detector, and also like motion detector.
Okay. So do you plan on installing any exterior lights as a part of this?
Yes, only for the main entrance, others will be motion sensor like when there's anyone that passes by.
So those would be cut off light fixtures, so that they don't cast out, they must cast down?
Yes.
No, I read where they're all down.
Yeah.
They're shielded and directed downward.
Just wanna make sure.
Right.
Yes.
So you can't create glare next door. Okay. Does the board want to see in order to bring this into expectation of compliance? Is what they presented sufficient?
Well, are we back to the ventilation to prevent the airborne air pollution
That's air pollution. We're talking, this is odor.
odor?
Oh, then we table that one for the next meeting? So they were gonna,
We can, but what do you need for further description on this item? To table it, so that if we're gonna table it, they really should have an action item to bring back. Or members of the public, so that we all know what we're walking away with, and what our expectation is at the next meeting.
Dealing with odor, you're gonna be drying this on site,
Yes.
and that usually involves a fair amount of heat type thing, and I know with tobacco and stuff like that, you introduce chemicals while you're drying it.
No,
Right.
chemical involved, sorry, why would we need any chemical?
Well,
If that is chemical, it wouldn't pass all the.
well, like in tobacco, they put a anti-mold into the air to prevent mold from getting, these plants that are green, turning brown or golden colored, whatever. They add an anti-molding agent as they're drying it. I was just wondering, that's also ventilated right out to,
So again, whatever air that's going to be ventilated, will have carbon filter.
okay,
And that's usually all for the.
could you get some literature or, and show us what kind of air filters that you plan on using?
Yeah, we can,
We can bring that at the next meeting.
yeah,
but just give us a list of what you require, we can,
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So I don't, on this 13. I think we wanna know about, a little bit more about waste. He's assured us that there's no noise. Glare, this has been addressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We read
Yeah.
that. Fumes, we don't know about, right? Smoke, dust. I don't see any smoke or dust, there's gonna be water involved,
Yes.
it's all gonna be suppressed,
Maybe you will.
gonna suppress it.
Yes.
And the only other thing is odor, so I don't know, we don't need a lot of information about noise. Can we break up this proposal part of it?
I would leave it. If
Okay.
we want, I'm assuming manufacturers' material related to carbon filtration. And the information related to waste disposal. Are those the two components that the board would like to see in order to weigh in on this criteria?
Sure.
Chuck?
Yeah.
Bruce?
Sure.
So we'll move on to number 14, the proposed activity will not cause unreasonable highway or public road congestion or unsafe conditions with respect to the use of existing or proposed highways or roads. The proposed project was reviewed by a permit specialist from the Maine DOT Transportation. The review is pending. So
So
we
there's
will
nothing we can do there.
look at that pending approval.
Right. So that'd be next.
There's an existing condition in the standard application that says that they must secure all state permits in order to move forward. So you
So
could
we can
move, you
vote
could
on
approve
this
this one condition.
with the condition of
on the approval.
pending approval, okay. So do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor? That's everyone. Number 15, the proposed activity to the maximum extent possible will not have an adverse effect on the scenic or natural beauty of the area or aesthetics, historic sites, significant wildlife habitat identified by the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife or the town of Norridgewock, or rare or irreplaceable natural areas or any public rights for physical or visual access to the shoreline.
There's no.
There's no.
Make a motion, we accept it as written. I'll second it.
All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, did you vote, John?
You voted all.
Oh, I voted, okay, I couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get out of the way.
The proposed activity conforms to all applicable requirements of the town shoreline zoning ordinance and all other local ordinances. The property is not within the shoreline zone.
Make a motion, we accept 16 as written.
All those in favor? 17, proposed activity will not increase a Great Pond's phosphorus concentration if the development is within the watershed of a Great Pond. The project is not within the watershed of a Great Pond.
Make a motion, we accept 17 as written. I'll second.
All those in favor? Number 18, the town has the capacity to provide fire and rescue services to proposed development. We do have an email from the Norridgewock Fire Chief that assures that, there are no concerns about adequate fire protection, but he also has some stipulations or recommendations that he would like to see done. And I believe that the applicant said that you're willing to do those, right? Yeah, okay.
So do we have an adequate fire truck to reach the top of that building, or we gotta buy a new one?
Well, once it catches on fire, you'll be able to get it because it's gonna be on the ground. I was up there on Route 8 when that one burned.
Oh, yeah.
There was absolutely, all it was 200 feet of fire.
Yeah, that.
All we did was put it
Watch it
out
go.
on the ground.
And
Do I
then
have a motion?
make a motion, we accept the items written.
With the
Well,
conditions of the fire chief.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'll second it. That worked.
Any discussion?
yeah, what do we, I mean, some of these places are pretty close to that, right? So I mean, yeah, I know, so I mean, if it catches on fire, that's gone, I'm telling you right now, so the next time, so I mean. Do you really want to approve without having some type of adequate sprinkler system or something on that, or? I mean, it's part of.
You know, be installing any good fire extinguisher.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
We will be, installing adequate fire extinguisher for each of the rooms and for egress. And you will be displayed
You mean just them round red things,
fire extinguisher.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen a building that size go up in flames, but I'm telling you, it's, them little fire extinguishers, you might as well just throw them and run. They ain't gonna do shit.
I don't think there's anything you could do to stop on that side.
Well, if you had some type of sprinkler system, at least on that side. Well, then you got Jimmy and Roxanne on the other side.
If you look at the property, the map,
Well, I know where the property is, I go by there a zillion times a day.
how far years from the.
Well, his house isn't very far, and Roxanne's isn't very far, down the garage.
What is not very far, I tell you, it's
50,
Oh,
50 feet.
not,
Yeah.
it's not even 50 feet.
yeah,
Well, from the house, maybe it is, yeah, it's probably about that.
From the house,
From the,
What's the
from our
building
house,
the
yeah.
other property line.
Right, yeah, I don't know exactly how far it is, it's not very far.
Oh, there we are. Now, which house is gonna house the workers?
The trailer,
Oh, the one on the other side?
yeah.
Approximately 75 feet.
75.
With vegetation.
The other one's quite a bit,
That will go away real quick.
the other one's quite a bit more. Gotta be over 100 the other way.
No, yeah. Two hundred. 296-ish.
And I know when we had the downtown fire. The fire department did a fantastic job. Because it could have lost the whole town, because some of those buildings almost touch one another.
How many years ago was that?
Oh, the last one was. In like 02, 03.
That was when they set the fire in the
Yeah.
laundromat.
And then I went over there, a big output right after that, I think. Right?
Yeah, there's a fire station across the road burnt before that. One that Rosie had, the Rosie's Cafe.
But that was the last downtown fire and they managed to save the buildings beside it. So I mean, they had scouted in like 3 towns come in.
I appreciate your concerns, and I think the abutters do too, but a vacant building likely poses just as much of a risk of fire as an occupied one. You've got electricity, but you've also got monitoring, whereas you have a vacant building that could be anybody's. The fire chief said that he does not see any issues with the building, and I mean,
So he's been in,
Yes,
he's reviewed the
so
application.
he's looked at wiring and. well,
He's reviewed the application and he's
Okay.
made the request that there be a key box outside.
Yep,
Outside electrical disconnects, these are all, vast majority of them are plus up costs to the applicant to ensure that they have the ability as best they can to shut this building down in the event of a fire emergency.
How will you even have it outside disconnect for people?
Right, so you had stated earlier in the meeting that as the applicant's agent, you were agreeable to all of the conditions requested by the fire chief.
Yes.
We will incorporate these into the draft approval if it moves forward.
Yes.
And the other answer to that is, we could look at setbacks, and we don't have setbacks in town. That's a whole zoning discussion. I'm not sure. That's support.
already cast in stone out there.
There is a motion in a
there's
second.
second, okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, so, we don't have the decision tonight. We're going to. Is it our next meeting?
I would recommend a discussion amongst the board of anything else that they feel they might
Is there
want,
anything else you might want?
and then from the public.
Any public comment?
I just think my question is, you were talking about security, and I wonder if you could explain to us what the additional risks would be. It sounds like you need to be pretty locked down in your facility, and what the risks are and what you're gonna do to mitigate those risks as far as for the people who live next to this facility.
Yeah, basically people thinking us as these partners that we have camera. That can continue to have those release as they have. But if there's any activities that's not there, they would know, and again, there would be motion detector and like the motion detector, so that anyone who trespass and the people would know. And
So the risk is trespass, the risk is theft, The risk is arson, like what, I was asking you, what are the risks? As well as what you're gonna do to mitigate them.
Look, you don't want to state that, there will be somebody saying,
What is the increased risk, though, I'm asking? What are you protecting against?
well, intrusion or the cat. So that is, the deterrent would be cameras. And also there will be people that stay there.
So does this type of business have an increased risk than if you were going to put a tomato?
Not for
Plant.
the neighbor, but they would not want to raise people attention. So it would not affect them, just would say, oh, I want to leave it now, and the neighbors would not be anything from affected by whatever.
I was just trying to get you to explain what the increased or what the risk is, and you're a consultant, right? So what is the increased risk in the business that you are bringing to our neighborhood?
In terms of risk is minimum, I would say.
But what is it? Even if it's minimum, what are your risks?
Basically, can, because they're going for the project at the houses. So that would be, that template. But as for the risk to the neighbors, they would be.
No, I meant what was the additional risk? to
Again,
this?
the cameras, which is required, and it's definitely, even if they get a video, the video.
So is there somebody in that facility 24/7?
Yes. Video is.
They go on chefs like,
Well, not which
but
one,
somebody's always in that building,
in the grow, we didn't know, they
in the
know,
grow building.
no, not.
Okay.
100%.
Alright.
They would be in the trade-off. Because they don't need to trade. But lobby could be like automation.
And you're just gonna make sure it's extremely secure.
And said that we.
We got a lot of kids in this town that like
Yeah,
marijuana.
we do not have.
All right, we've got a lot of people that like marijuana in this town.
And we do understand this, it's.
So you're gonna make it so secure that I can't go break in through a hunk of wood that's rotted or, Can I-
We have 6-inch insulation walls, so, and those are quite sturdy, you know, and. It's kind of easy. For secure the house. It's a house with window in. Not,
so no windows or anything like that.
no,
So I can't even see what you're doing.
no, because if you have a window, you treat.
Right. So all the windows that are in there now and that are boarded up will be all secured and tight and sealed and.
But that wasn't the end.
Not there a whole bunch of,
No, usually
No.
fans, but them are all gone now.
well, yeah, but there's plywood up against them now.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they built them without windows
Right.
for a number of
they
years.
just didn't, they just put exhaust fans in.
You have a question, Richard?
Well, I have one request. Would you be willing to disclose, obviously, the caregivers that are in the facility that would occupy, from a legal perspective, are provided to the town by the state of Maine? Are you willing to disclose the parties of interest, your stakeholders, your ownership or management, list for the LLC?
You would like to have, information regarding all the caregivers?
I will get that from the state of Maine. I wanna know
The owners of the
who
building.
is behind the LLC. I would like the managing director, managing partner, and the officers of the LLC. That's not necessarily readily available, and I attempted to have certified mail sent to you to the address provided on file and on the closing documents of the property, and it was returned to me. So I have concerns about access and issues with the property and being able to get responses. Cause I believe you folks are consultants on the permitting end of things. And I'm not concerned about the permitting process. If we can get through the permitting process, great. It's when this kind lady over here calls and says, I'm smelling a lot of this. I'm not calling the permitting consultants. I need to talk to the property owner. I need to know who I'm going to issue that notice of violation to and seek corrective
We
action.
can contact you, right? Yes, we can provide you our information, our phone number, so that.
I appreciate that. I'm asking, and I'm gonna ask the planning board to make it a condition of your approval, that we have a list of whoever your officers or your managers are within the M and M LLC, M and M. I would like, if we could, because when I get returned certified mail
Yes.
on an address you provided to me 5 business days before, is not deliverable as addressed, I have very big concerns about responsiveness in the future.
What address for what was it that was returned?
I sent well, were supposed to receive an abutters notice for the subdivision earlier tonight. And I sent it to 667 Waterville Road in Skowhegan, and it was returned as no mail receptacle, unable to forward.
Oh, that's weird. We always have mail 667 Waterville.
Right,
Yeah, but I just, I have to look at it because it's.
sure, yeah, after, I'm not gonna hold these people up. But I would still like to have the address on file of your director, or whoever's the manager.
Because we have been receiving mail every day.
Right.
Almost, and if that is.
Well, postal service is the postal service, not gonna make excuses for them. I would just like a point of contact so we're able to be responsive.
Oh.
Thank you.
So we will look forward to reviewing this at the next meeting on August 6th. Okay,
Okay.
And he gets a list from you, Richard, on our concerns.
I will follow up with them tomorrow with an email to summarize what you would like for deliverables, and I'll send it to the email address on file. The other thing is that a portion of this review will consider your road name. The select board denied the request for the 2 provided road names that were submitted at application. We need to assign a new road name to the driveway because there's gonna be 2 occupied structures. You have the home, which always has had that Waterville Road number. Well, now because there are gonna be people occupying the larger facility on a more regular basis, you need a number for that as well. And it's on a shared driveway, which requires me to approve a new road name for that driveway. So I asked for 3 road names. I was provided 2, which was fine. The select board declined to review them. And so I need new requests for road names, please. Preferably by noontime tomorrow, or they'll name it themselves. Very good. I appreciate it.
Done.
okay, continued business, discussion action on amendments to the subdivision ordinance. Do you want to put it back up to vote for the towns?
So this was talked about in March shortly after the annual meeting, and it failed, and we really don't have good understanding as to why it failed, because it was actually reducing regulations based upon subdivisions, and I think it was maybe a lack of information from voters. Right,
Yeah.
usually when you get an ordinance, it means the things,
Oh, yeah.
in this
so
case,
then
it was
they-
actually
Yeah, people go.
reducing the restriction.
We're all done.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Yes.
thank you for that.
Yeah, we'll get her an ice cream.
So, I don't know, if you wanna make changes in draft form to the subdivision ordinance, I probably wouldn't recommend doing it while you have a subdivision application pending.
No.
But maybe the board just wants to see the same thing put back forward to the voters, and we can focus on education behind what it is.
Yeah.
And move that, whether you wanna move it to November or March would be lowest obstacle to administration.
Well, I think we worked really hard for a long time on it, I think we should put
Yeah,
it back out there, and
Yeah.
I think work on educating the public to what it is.
But you can't do nothing till November anyways.
Right,
At least,
Yeah.
right,
yeah,
Fall town meeting.
right, right. Bruce, I know you weren't on the board that developed this.
No, I was the one that voted against it.
Right. Why did you vote against it, if you don't mind me asking?
Lack of information.
Okay. So do you think that putting the same
A
one forward,
a lot of times people get afraid when you change things
right,
and they wanna know why you're changing things.
right,
Yeah, they think it's probably so restrict them.
Oh,
yeah,
well, you hear ordinance, and that's whatever you think. So you would be comfortable re-putting that same ordinance back out if we
once I got information on it.
promoted, right, the changes in what, okay.
show me what you changed that made it better, made it easy.
Well, we gave you a copy to review.
Yeah, well, I didn't get it.
Yeah, we gave it to you right at the meeting
What meeting?
in March.
Oh, really? This year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everything in that ordinance that we had talked about had been underlined, red, and that we had discussed it. I thought that we only really touched on some words. We didn't do any
Oh, we
big changes.
got rid of a couple of things, but we actually aligned with the state
That's right,
with their
because
ordinance.
they were here advising us too, and the state girl was here and, well, the first time she should.
Yeah.
Yeah, the consultant, and then, boy, we,
Like this guy.
no,
Yeah.
no KB consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, hey. Either that or we'll give Bruce some time to read it, maybe he'll
There you go.
influence somebody in this town.
People don't listen to me.
Yeah, I think they do.
So put this on the next agenda, probably not the next agenda, September.
September, yeah.
So how
Any more public comment?
many people?
Or commented out.
You didn't say much. You're pretty
How many
quiet.
people, how many people in there room with people? I don't know.
Well, don't be easy on that. The harder the better.
You asked for
That's
questions,
all.
so you
What's that?
You guys asked good questions.
Oh.
Thank you.
You did bring out a lot of the information that I've been wanting to.
Any other business?
Yeah, anything that's in floodplains comes in front of the planning board, right? Or do they get permits to come?
If they get certified out, if they get a certified elevation out, then they've been excluded from having to come. It's when they attempt to construct in the floodplain and you end up with the louvers and everything else. That people that have to come for planning board,
And I just kind of want.
because the other typically if you're in the floodplain, you're gonna be in the shoreline. And that's gonna come to you too.
Thank you, thanks for coming, guys.
That's it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good question from you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think they thought that those two wells ran the chicken.
I think they did.
Oh. You think all right?
If there's nothing else,
Right, right.
we'll adjourn.